Good morning, everyone. My name is Shopna Karim.
Good morning, my name is Delma Williams.
And both of us going to do a presentation on working in partnership. Working in partnership. Introduction. The purposes of our presentation is to provide information on how multi-agencies can benefit and support families and young people with additional supports or needs. I'm going to focus on these 3 bullet points and explain it to you briefly. Working as a practitioner, working in partnership with parents, and learning difficulties. What are learning difficulties and how to support a child with learning difficulties? I will expand on how working in partnership has benefits, the barriers that we can come across with it, the tensions, as well as principle of good partnership that we can create in my conclusion in details. Now I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Delma, and she will explain it to you, the 3 bullet points, briefly, and also ask you, my audience, questions and see how far we can get.
So we're talking about practitioners who work with children and young people in schools. Over there you can see we've got internal agencies. What do you think, who do you think practitioners are? Anyone have any idea who practitioners are? Well, I think internal sorry, is there someone answering?
Yes. Practitioners are somebody who work with children and young people.
Thank you very much. That is absolutely correct. So teaching assistant, teachers and special educational needs in school, SEN, they are also practitioners in their own roles and responsibility. But the difference is those are internal staff who work in our setting, in the setting in which you are working. If you're a TA, you would be an internal staff. External agencies would be speech therapy, who our school would provide for children with special needs, special educational needs. So say for example, we have children who need help with their literacy, their spelling, their pronunciation. We would actually assess their need and provide information by speaking with parents, teachers, looking at assessing their work, and allow us to gather information to actually form that assessment, the CAF assessment framework paper for help with those external agencies. So we can have also psychology, which would provide additional needs for some children depending on what their needs are. Health visitor also comes in to visit the school by demand by teachers or head of department to ensure children's health or well-being are being monitored and kept. Social worker is there for us to actually engage with whatever difficulties or delay children are experiencing. So those are some of the external agencies which we would be using in our schools. Okay? What are the roles and responsibilities of a learning support staff? We are all learning in these areas. So I'm pretty sure we can contribute to this subject. What do you think our roles and responsibilities are as support staff?
Supporting teachers.
Absolutely, yes. And any more?
Supporting students.
Supporting students. So here I said this, the responsibility, the roles and responsibilities of a learning support staff is to provide the teacher in charge, to support the teacher in charge of the class with the necessary support and work, assessing children, helping them to achieve better, and to help children who need extra support in their learning. There are some children who are slower, so we may have to adapt different strategy to help them to progress, and to raise concern also with the class teacher if we are finding that they're falling behind. So we raise concern and set a plan to help children to achieve further, and to keep an effective account of all individuals, because every child matters with the new legislation or the government framework. So even though there are children who may be progressing in areas, we have to identify where they may be lacking and help them to achieve, while we are also adapting new ways of helping those who are sort of slower learners. So we follow up these responsibilities by setting homework and assess children to see how they are interacting with their parent, and the work that's set, how they're developing their skills. Also, we help them to follow the class rules, policies and procedures, so that we follow on lateness, attitudes, behavior, and set boundaries for them to follow. Working in partnership, showing respect, valuing each other's is a rewarding attribute for all staff to have. So we should think about that seriously in our setting. Be good role models for positive relationship. Why do you think good role models in schools are necessary?
Good role model in school are necessary because we are helping children to become, to make positive choices in the future. So by following a good role model will enhance their choices in the future.
Yes, but how would they know? How would you what do you do for children to interact and understanding that you are showing them good role models?
Effective communication.
Sorry?
Effective communication.
Exactly, absolutely. And working in partnership with parents. Do any of us actually work in partnership with parents or teachers or other colleagues? Working in partnership is very beneficial. So in my setting, in my school, we have meetings to discuss any concerns or children who may be late or absent from schools, so that we can keep a record, we can get in touch with their parents and family in case they're truanting, and to build good relationship also with parents, families, carers, and teachers, to sort of keep everybody under one umbrella so everyone knows what is effective, what's lacking, and what needs developing. I will now go in, sorry, 1 minute. I will now be on the same. Okay. Based on practitioners are experts who are able to plan and prepare assessment for children with additional needs. Based on my findings, every school has a framework to follow in England and Wales the national curriculum, followed by Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, and Key Stage 3, which are set out by the government according to children age group. According to children age group. So we can discuss here working in partnership again, why working with parent is important and why effective communication with parent is necessary. We can discuss the benefits of parent and professionals working together. How can teaching staff improve interaction with parents? And we also would like to know if parents and practitioners can build good relationships. Now, learning difficulties, speech and language. Explain what learning difficulties are and how practitioners identify them. Can anyone explain what learning difficulties may be and how they can be identified? Like I said before, they could be writing difficulties, they could be memory thinking, there could be sensory impairment or communications or lacking concentration. Sometimes learning difficulties can be as simple as a child do not know how to interact. That could be a disability. So to support them to concentrate and help them to adapt new ways of learning, to gather whatever they're experiencing, whatever they're lacking, can be beneficial to their learning and progress. So those people can be suffering from dyslexia. They may have a barrier where language is concerned. They may speak a different language from what is being used in our country. They may be from another country, which their language may not be English. Therefore, we have to provide them with a practitioner to help them to progress in their learning English, to participate and reach their full potential. So some of our children can be suffering from ADHD and other needs. So I hope this was beneficial for you with some knowledge of working with partnership. And I'm now going to put you over to my colleague here to give your findings and a conclusion.
To conclude, based on our findings, every school has a framework to follow in England and Wales, the national curriculum, followed by Key Stage 1, 2 and 3, which are set out by the government according to age group, and all schools must follow. Where extra needs are identified at the interest of child and young person, and is when multi-agencies collaboratively working in partnership with other professionals and families by providing a tailor-made package to support in the most efficient way. Working together partnership has many benefits as well as barriers, which I have mentioned in my introductions. As well as benefits would be to improve cost efficiency. They share information, therefore makes it less stressful for families, helps agencies not to overlap, and also uses different skills, knowledge, and expertise and experiences in one place. Barriers could be lack of communication, limited resources will cause delay, and tensions and conflicts. Did not inform and cancel appointments at the last minute, which creates conflicts and delays the process. principle of building good relationship would be to ensure we invest in good practitioners. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, which is very important, when many different professionals come to work in partnership, not only they bring valuable experience and knowledge, we can also gain from them. And as a TA, finally, working in partnership benefits the child and their family, and as a TA, we can learn those expertise and share it, and you never know where in the schools, at what time and what place we can embed them and put it into a child's progress. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.